Hi everyone, I'm Celeste. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, you know, over the past several months, I've been reading some fantastic spring-themed books. Lots of gardening books. April in the United States is National Poetry Month, so I've been reading some really brilliant poetry titles. You know I love those. And just some lovely, lovely selections, which I would put into perhaps a lighter genre. And they're all books that could be on your bedside table that you could browse through. Now, I have also read some pretty heavy history books, so I've enjoyed those too. But overall, I would say they've been more of the poetry and gardening variety, which I love. I would say I read books like that about 60% of the time even. But, you know, I was looking around for something new to read. I looked at my TBR list, which I keep in a document on the computer, and I have like a little thumbnail photograph of the titles that I'm reading next. That's how I organize my TBR. And I wasn't really getting that thrill of excitement that you should get when you're looking forward to the next book that you're going to read. None of them were really hitting for me. So, you know, I would pick up one and just kind of go, pick up another one, couldn't get into it. In my search to find something new to read, I came across a list online published by National Geographic magazine, and it is a list of the greatest adventure books of all time, and it's a top 100 list. So there were many titles on there that looked intriguing, some of which I've read, many of which I have not. It includes titles such as The Snow Leopard by Peter Mathiasson, which has absolutely gorgeous, stunning prose. If you've never read that, you should have a look. Wind, Sand, and Stars by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, which is another classic. West with the Night by Beryl Markham, and many, many others. On that list at number 75 was a book called Through the Brazilian Wilderness by Theodore Roosevelt. I could not find that title, but I did find this. Now, this describes Roosevelt's expedition into the Brazilian jungle in 1913. It is called The River of Doubt. And this is Theodore Roosevelt's darkest journey. Apparently, this was a national bestseller. I'm late to the party as usual. I'm constantly reading backlisted titles. So if you already know about this, wonderful. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. But I'm about halfway through at this point, and it has been a wild ride. I love it. It's fantastic. What can I tell you about this? Let me read you a little bit here. The River of Doubt. It is a black, uncharted tributary of the Amazon that snakes through one of the most treacherous jungles in the world. After his humiliating election defeat in 1912, Roosevelt set his sights on the most punishing physical challenge he could find, the first descent of an unmapped, rapids-choked tributary of the Amazon. Together with his son Kermit and Brazil's most famous explorer, Cândido Mariano de la Silva Rondon, Roosevelt faced an unbelievable series of hardships. They lose their canoes and supplies, they endure starvation, they're attacked by indigenous peoples, they experience disease, drowning, and even a murder within their own ranks. It's an exciting read. And what I love about Candice Millard, the author, this is actually her first book that she wrote, and she has several others which are highly praised as well. What I love about her style is that she incorporates a lot of other interesting information about the flora, the fauna, the geologic and paleontological history of the Amazon River. She even talks about the unevenness of the terrain and where it floods, the different characters of the river depending on where you are along the Amazon. She talks about, what is it called? Gondwanaland, which is the supercontinent that existed periods and periods ago, epochs and epochs. During the Carboniferous period, it joined with Euramerica to form Pangaea. So she talks about, geological tectonic plates and where they broke and how various animal groups developed here but not there, and why it has the characteristics that it has. And as well, it's just a thrilling adventure story. So I'm really very much getting into this, and it's just such a different sort of read that I think I've been long overdue for something like this. And I strongly, strongly suggest it. So at the point that I'm at right now, they're on the River of Doubt, and they called it that because you never really know where you're going. They call it, they say that it looks like a piece of black ribbon candy that often doubles back on itself if you were looking at it with a bird's eye view. Speaking of birds, she talks about all the different bird varieties that could be found down there. And what it's doing is making me want to read more about the Amazonian jungles and the animals that live there. So there's a book by someone, I can't remember who it's by, but it's on Alexander von Humboldt and his expeditions down there. And then, of course, as mentioned, the Lost City of Z. I also watched a fantastic documentary that was on rivers. And it's in several episodes. And so one of the episodes was about the Amazon, and that is really worth watching as well. And I will post the title of that down below in case you're interested in getting some sort of background information on the Amazon. There's another episode of the series that's on the Nile. There's one on the Mississippi, and I think one on the Danube. So yeah, that's what I've been reading this week. Really, really enjoying it. It's also gotten me very interested in Teddy Roosevelt, which I never thought I would be. I just never really before this thought of him as an interesting character to read about or to invest time in reading a biography of, but this has changed my mind. In future videos, I think I will also discuss alternative lists of adventure books, because the traditional canon, including the one that was published by National Geographic, gives you the standard titles, which are mostly white, male, and Western. So there are many other works that we've neglected and that have not been canonized before. More works by women, more works by marginalized people. So their adventure stories need to be told as well. So in future installments of, my adventure books tag or category, I'll be sharing titles by other authors as well. But for now, have a look at the National Geographic list. If you have an opportunity, I highly, highly recommend this. The River of Doubt, Theodore Roosevelt's Darkest Journey by Candice Millard. And in the comments down below, I would love to hear what other adventure books you've read. Now, for the sake of this, I'm talking about nonfiction adventure. Which ones you've read, which ones you would suggest or recommend that I read. What should my next adventure book be? You let me know in the comments down below. And let me know, do you agree with this list? Do you agree with the top 10? What titles would you add? What do you think shouldn't be on there? And we'll go from there. That's all I've got for today. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.